What is up, fam? Welcome to another Car Talk podcast. This is, I believe, episode 5. So I'm pretty stoked to be talking with you guys again. This has been a lot of fun. And today I'm just going to be actually kind of talking about kind of where the thought process is on, where we are as a fishing industry and community, and how we can potentially improve the fishing community. And I guess I'll first start off by saying what the issues are with the fishing industry, unfortunately. But I don't know. I guess I'll start by saying this: the fishing industry is still young. Like, there's really not. I mean, the amount of time, like, to put it into perspective, Bass Pro Shops has only been around for like 50 years, like Cabela's has only been around for like 65 years. Like, they're really young companies, yet they're the ones that are, at the top of the food chain. They're, definitely taking over a big portion of the commerce in the space. But what I'm like most interested in is, as somebody that loves fishing so much and has ever since, ages 2 and up, we'll call it, like, we've all got legends in the industry that we all look up to. And, it doesn't matter who the legend is. Honestly, like, what I've learned, there's been a few. I'm not going to say every legend, but there's been a lot, and I'm not going to mention names in this because I freaking love every single one of these pro anglers and every single person that is attempting and is chasing their dream and able to pursue their dream in the fishing industry. Like, I admire you, and I have my hat off to you. And if you are in the industry, I hope you do not take this as any kind of disrespect towards those kind of people, but I just really want to bring some insight to the opportunity and the honest, like, truth about what has gone down in the past 50 to 100 years in the industry. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these, big personalities in the company, or in the industry, they follow the money. And, that, like I said, it's not true to everybody, but there's a reason why a lot of these big fishermen have switched from brand to brand, and it's not because of always quality. It's because of what that company is willing to pay them. And like I said, I have admiration and I have empathy towards every single one of the people that are pursuing their dream in the industry. But I'm afraid that there are a lot of people that say things that aren't true, or things that they don't necessarily even believe in, just simply to get a paycheck from a certain company in the industry. And that's what's devastating to me as a fisherman, and as somebody that has always dreamed of, becoming somebody in the industry. But in all actuality, like, the reason why I never, ever pursued fishing in a tournament level, or at a tournament level, is simply because of the fact that my dad always explained to me, because he had such, like, as far as fishing goes, my dad has a finger on the pulse as far as, production goes for TV shows and, TV series and YouTube. He loves watching YouTube fishermen, and also he's just been a huge tournament fisherman follower all of his life, because he loves fishing just like myself. But he also knew the reality of the situation, which they're basically starving artists. They're people that are literally fishing for a living, and if they don't catch fish, they're essentially not going to have money to supply or to provide for their family or their bills that they might be having or they might have in their life. And so it's like, hearing my dad tell me that I don't want to be a professional fisherman because I don't want to ever rely on the financial aspect of things, in the industry, is just sickening to me. And as I get older, I'm starting to realize that it's just simply because the industry is so young, and because, like I said, like, these are starving artists. And to give you some perspective, like the most profound fisherman in the industry, Kevin Van Dam. Most people know him, KVD. This dude is all over Bass Pro Shops and packages for Strike King and all different kinds of, baits and stuff. He's just a phenomenal fisherman. And the way that he's got that reputation is just because of the tournaments that he's fished and won, or placed in or whatever. And it's just super interesting to me because this dude only wins 2% of the time. Like, that's the reality of it. Like, this dude, out of 100 tournaments, 2 of them he'll win or place in, like top 3 or something. And like, that's nuts. That's crazy. Like, absolutely crazy when you're looking at other sports and other athletes, because a lot of the sports that I also wanted to pursue, it was the opposite of that. Like, if I was tall enough to play basketball, like, I believe I would probably be playing basketball because I loved basketball so much, and I just knew that it'd be a lucrative business or a lucrative living if I were to go into it. So it's like, my dad was obviously supportive of it, but come around to junior year, I just realized I was not physically gifted with the ability to be able to take it to the next level. So I just cold turkeyed it and, just did intramural and stuff like that. But as far as fishing goes, I never even thought of pursuing fishing as a dream, just because of what my dad has instilled in me from such a young kid. And I know a lot of you guys might be like thinking that's sad, and like, honestly, I'm thankful for it. Like, my dad is an amazing guy. He's such a kind, empathetic soul. Like, he said it out of the intent for my own well-being and my own happiness. So I don't, resent him by any means for that, but I just genuinely see so much opportunity with the technology that's, about to become mainstream, Web 3.0, blockchain, NFTs. Like, that kind of infrastructure is going to be phenomenal to allow people to give back to their communities if they choose to. And, I just really wanted to kind of like express where I come from on the topic, because like, I'm going to be known as one of the craziest fishermen in the world just because I'm not going to take a single dime from the industry. And right now the only money I take from the industry is just from Cabela's working hourly, and that's as far as I'm going to take it. Like, I'm so thankful that I can work hourly, 10 to 15 hours a week to be able to sustain my lifestyle and to be able to pay my bills and be able to live within my means, so that I can pursue my dream of creating content and fishing and getting as best as I can at fishing and teaching others how to fish, and like, just overall chasing my dream. And so like, to kind of get back to like tournament fishing and stuff like that, I'm just excited to see a lot of these fishermen in the industry, if they don't already, or if they haven't already, like, just kind of evaluate and utilize some self-awareness and figure out what makes them happy. Do they have to own a multi-million-dollar home? Do they have to own 4 boats instead of just 2? Like, there's a lot of people in the industry that have made a lot of money and just spend that money, as opposed to sitting on it, or just living within your means and using that to just continue to feed your career. And I just hope with my own career, as far as fishing is concerned, I hope that I can inspire people to give back to the community that essentially allows them to do what they love to do. For example, I know someday, and as of now, like, I love creating YouTube videos. I may not love editing them, but I love creating fishing YouTube videos, and I love taking my fishing, to the level where I can film it and share that experience with other people and hopefully have them learn something from it. Like, that's something that I find so much joy in, and it's free for me to do, essentially. Like, I'm my own editor, I'm my own videographer. Like, yeah, I invested in my GoPros and like stuff like that, but like I said, I invested into those. Like, that's not something that I would leave my community responsible for, like, I don't know. I'm trying to express my thought on this, but it's not really coming very clear. Let me retry that. So the way that I think we're going to see a lot of content creators that genuinely love what they do, whether they're fishermen, whether they're artists, whether they're, you know, whatever the fuck they do. Like, if you can create content around that passion, I just genuinely believe that that's going to result in just so much gratitude for the people that actually view your stuff, that you're going to want to find a way to reward those people. And we've never really had the technology to do that, and the only way that people have really done that for the, you know, the ones that have made it really successfully on Web 2 is by coming out with merch. And that merch oftentimes is another super, super lucrative way to make money off the people that just watch you and put you on, in other words. So it's like, from my own thought process, I can't fathom the idea of taking money from the people that are allowing me to do what I love to do, especially because I've worked in the real world. I've done what I've not loved to do for a long time, and like, I don't want to do that. And you know, I'm just so thankful. Someday I won't even have to work 10 to 15 hours at Cabela's, and I just can't wait for that day. And when that happens, I just know that I'm going to be making money through my content online. And when that happens, like, I'm literally going to live within my means, so that any extra money that I make is going to go back to you, the person that genuinely supports me as the creator, and that genuinely is interested and passionate about what I'm interested and passionate about. And I just think that Web 2 was an amazing, amazing way for, you know, social media, all that stuff, for people to build a brand and to build awareness, essentially. And I just don't think that creators, you know, ever really looked at things as far as like how fortunate they are. And I think that as the world kind of evolves, and like as we become more conscious as a society of like history and, you know, how it really was in the 1980s versus, you know, how it is now, like, genuinely, I think we're going to have a different appreciation for the people that support us. And I'm excited to, you know, I'm excited to lead the way and hopefully inspire others, and, you know, eventually help the legends in the space give back to the community that put them on, essentially. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait for that. I genuinely can't. And I just know that the day that, you know, Kevin Van Dam reaches out to me in 3 years probably to create an NFT project that's going to significantly benefit the people that support him and buy his baits, like, I just think that'll be amazing. And those can be, like, the creative aspect of it is limitless. Like, I mean, he could come out with a project, if he's got, say, a collective 100,000 fans, or probably even more, like, say he's got 200,000 fans. If he comes out with a project, an NFT project, or a token rather, that allows utility with that to be able to, say, the owner of this digital token gets, no matter where you are shopping, 35% off of any Strike King bait. You know, so it's like something that Kevin Van Dam and Strike King would have to come into agreement on, as well as like a lot of the different, you know, distributors and stuff. But the fishing community is so small to the point where that's going to take less than a year once it's mainstream. Once blockchain technology is mainstream, it's literally going to take less than a year for every person to adapt, and, you know, for Bassmaster Classic tickets to be literally distributed as NFT digital, you know, tickets before, you know, like, I just genuinely see the world going that way, and I just can't wait to utilize all the different ways that we can give back. And, you know, there's a lot of things that are actually wrong with our industry. Like, you know, a lot of the bass fishing teams don't even have boats, so they can't do tournaments that, you know, require a boat. So it's like, how cool would it be to own an Austin's fishing NFT that, you know, in return would allow all proceeds to go to funding boats for high school fishing teams. Like, that's the kind of utility that we're talking about with this technology. And I just genuinely think that it's going to be a profound way to benefit the fishing community. I genuinely think that. And, you know, as well as every other community, you know, that there is. So I just, as a creative, I can't wait to utilize these technologies to benefit those that, you know, support us as a creative. And if you're a listener and you're a creative yourself, like I would hope that, you know, this gets some wheels turning on how you can, you know, eventually get back to your community, whether it be 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people. Like, I think there's enough room to, you know, to really just bring as much value as you believe you can. And yeah, I just look forward to dropping my first projects this year. 2022 is for sure going to be the year. I'm going to be dropping a project that is going to be so near and dear to me, that's going to be like a work of art, or a life's work of art rather. And I'm super excited about that. Like, that's been in my heart for the past 4 to 5 years without me even knowing it. But it actually showed itself about 2 weeks before VCon. I was writing in my notes, and I was like, you know what? Now's the time. And I just thought of a NFT project, thought of the name, thought of the whole concept behind it, thought of the, you know, the true meaning behind it and why it's so significant to everything that I live for and stand for. And I just can't wait to release it. And, you know, and that's going to be a real small collection, and then right after that, I'm going to be dropping a little bit of a bigger collection for those that are, you know, people that support me in the fishing industry, because I really want to onboard a lot of people. I want to be the first, you know, fisherman to start truly bringing a lot of people onto the Web3 space. And I know it's going to be super, super difficult, but I've got the next 3 to 5 years to do that before it becomes mainstream. And I'm going to find so much joy in doing so. And I'm going to make sure that every single person that goes through the headache of setting up a MetaMask wallet and all that is going to benefit. So I really, really, really look forward to it. And yeah, I'm just super, super ecstatic. And I know I've got some other projects up my sleeve as well. So I'm just excited. I can't wait to see how this, you know, this whole new technology impacts the world, and, you know, what kind of changes that we see for the best happen. I'm really just passionate about that. And yeah, I just look forward to again living it through with you guys, and I'm just so thankful for you guys listening. But yeah, I think I'm gonna close it off at that. So that being said, I really, really, really hope that you guys have the best day ever. And yeah, I just hope you guys stay curious and stay kind, and if you're happy, spread that happiness. You know, it's the least you can do. The negativity is so loud in today's day and age. It's just so important that us happy people share that we're happy. And yeah, so I hope you guys do that today. And yeah, we'll see you guys on episode 6. Peace.